So I was discussing the silicon control rectifier SCR or thyristor, isn't it? In the last class. So we started that. It's a 4-layer device or this SCR. Okay, so what are the layers for SCR? How many junctions are there?
4.
Are you all attending the
3, 3,
class?
3 junctions.
I am not getting any response from you.
Sir, three junctions.
3 junctions. And externally, if we give some uh, the forward bias or reverse bias, then with respect to that, what are the conditions of junctions? That also we discuss, isn't it? Like for externally the forward bias condition. So how many junctions are forward bias and how many junctions are reverse bias out of these 3?
Sir, in forward bias conditions, two junctions J1, J3 are forward biased, but J2 is reverse biased.
And in the reverse bias condition,
Only J2 is forward biased and J1, J3 are reverse biased.
that means the thyristor can block in both way. So that you can say the advantage of thyristor, isn't it? So that also I mentioned it. Okay, and the one more advantage for thyristor is that okay. So this is one advantage, and what is the disadvantage of thyristor? How the noise is coming?
So switching frequency of thyristor is less.
Switching frequency of thyristor is less. So that is one disadvantage. Any other disadvantage? Okay, but now also now also, so that is the main disadvantage as I have mentioned, that the switching frequency is comparatively less than other devices. But the thing for which still it is in use in many applications and heavy current, heavy load applications, that is its ruggedness, its robustness. So it's a very robust device. So you can handle it roughly. Okay, so that we can say one of another advantage of thyristor. Okay, so anyway, so today we'll start with uh, the working principle of thyristor. And in the last class, I think I showed you the characteristics, isn't it? Did I show you the characteristics?
Yes,
IV
sir.
characteristics.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it is similar to a, a PN junction diode, but the problem is as it has 4 layers, and three junctions, so it starts conducting like this. Okay, so suppose if we don't have any other terminal or other bias like gate. Okay, so if you have any gate current, so it will, the characteristics will be like this. If it doesn't have any gate current, okay, then if it doesn't have any gate current, then how it can be turned on? What are the different ways it can be turned on? Okay, so if it doesn't have any gate current, so if it has gate current, so it will, that also I mentioned, it will follow similar, but for low value of voltage, it will be turned on. Okay, so this is another gate current Ig prime, where Ig prime is not equals to 0. It is some finite value. So what are the different methods by which we can turn on the thyristor? That I will discuss first. Okay, so the first way by which we can turn on a thyristor, if we apply a high voltage, across the device. That means across the uh, your your anode and cathode. Okay, so let me first draw this layers. There's four layers. So it can be P, N, P, N. So these are the anodes and cathodes. Okay, isn't it? Now, what is that gate terminal? Anyone? So what? Which is the anode and which is the cathode in this case?
P side is the anode and inside is the cathode.
And which is the gate?
The P means the other P.
So this is the gate terminal. So we are discussing that if we don't have any gate bias or gate current, then how the SCR can be turned on. So one of the way that I have already mentioned here, that is if we apply high voltage across the anode and cathode. Why it will turn on the device? Because it will okay, so it will actually puncture that junction. Okay, so if the voltage is more than the forward or reverse blocking capability, then the device will turn on. Okay, got my point? Because we have mentioned that uh, in case of forward bias, there is a two reverse junction. Sorry, one reverse biased junction. And in case of reverse bias, there are two for reverse bias junction. Okay, so that means we have to, if we need a conduction through the device, we have to puncture these reverse biased junctions. Otherwise, the conduction is not possible because your gate current is 0. Okay, to make it possible, what we have to do, we have to apply a higher voltage so that we can puncture the reverse bias junctions. But it is not done practically because that has a separate disadvantages as far as the device is concerned. Okay, the number two uh, by which we can turn on the device, if we apply a very high DVDT across the SCR. And what is the maximum DVDT uh, that is generally mentioned in the device data sheet? Okay, so what is the maximum DVDT uh, the device can withstand. So if we apply more than that, then also the device can be turned on. Okay, so that is the second way by which we can make the device turned on. Okay, now the third way by which we can again make the device turn on, if we apply some some radiation, okay, in the gate. Okay, so in that way also we can turn on the device. Okay, so radiation means the light radiation. Okay, so then the junction can be forward bias. In case of forward bias, external forward bias, if we apply some light radiation in the junction, in the junction where the thing is reverse bias, like J2 in case of forward bias. Okay, so then also it can be turned on. Okay, so that is not for all types of thyristors. So special type of thyristors are there which can be turned on by light radiation, and that is called the light activated SCR or LASCR. Okay, so that is different kind of SCR which is sensitive to the light radiation, where the J2 junction is start conducting if we apply some light. Okay, so that is another way to turn on the device. But the most common way by which we generally turn on the device, what is that? That is by applying a gate current. Okay, so that is called a gate triggering method. Gate triggering method. Okay, so where we apply a gate current for very small interval. Okay, so basically in form of pulse, we apply the gate current. And this pulse should have a certain width. It is not just an impulse. Okay, so that sometimes we also prefer repeated pulse, a small duration pulse but repeated pulse we prefer compared to a one longer pulse. Why, that I will discuss later. So before that, so these are the way by which we can switch on a SCR or a thyristor. Okay, next I will discuss the uh, the working principle of thyristor. Now you see here, if we look at the device, the four uh, layers, what we can see one PNP transistor, another NPN transistor, isn't it? You just look at the device carefully. So two device we can find out from this structure. One is the NPN transistor, another is the PNP transistor. So the PNP transistor is like this. So this is the PNP transistor. And the NPN transistor is this. Okay, so this is the NPN transistor. So then what we'll do, we'll draw the equivalent circuit for this configuration. Okay, now this PNP transistor, let us consider as transistor 1, and this NPN transistor let us consider as transistor 2. Okay, and remember that with the PNP transistor, your anode is connected. With the NPN transistor, you have both cathode and gate is connected. Okay, rather the gate and cathode is taken out from the NPN transistor and anode is taken out from the PNP transistor. Okay, another thing is that the base of the PNP transistor or transistor 1, okay, that is connected to the collector of the NPN transistor. Am I right? You see, this is the base. This is the base of the PNP transistor that is connected with the collector, isn't it? So we can say this is the base of transistor 1, which is connected to the collector of transistor 2. Similarly, the base of transistor 2 is connected to what? Base of transistor 2 is connected to collector of PNP transistor, isn't it? Are you getting? কি তোমরা বুঝতে পারছো এই পয়েন্টটা?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, so in this way, we'll try to draw the circuit for it. Suppose I am drawing first the transistor 1. So it's a PNP transistor, so symbol will be like this. Okay, so this is a PNP transistor. And we know that which terminal is this? The emitter of the PNP transistor. This is the
Anode.
so that is the anode, because you see this is the emitter of transistor 1. So this is your transistor 1. So the emitter of transistor 1 is basically the anode of the overall device. Okay. Okay. Now, as I have already mentioned, that the base of the PNP transistor, that is BT1, is connected to collector of the NPN transistor. Okay, so let us draw the collector of NPN transistor like this. This is the collector, and the arrow will be outward. And can we identify other two terminals of this NPN transistor? This is the NPN transistor. So here the emitter is what? Which terminal is this? You see the emitter of transistor 2.
Cathode.
So this is the emitter of transistor 2. So that is nothing but the cathode K. And the base of transistor 2 is the gate. But we can apply a different current in gate as well. So that also we have to consider here. So we can apply some gate current. Okay. And this will be the, okay, you see the collector of transistor 1, that is CT1. This you can say the CT1, that is connected with BT2, the base of the transistor 2. But from that, we are also connecting the gate terminal. So therefore, the gate terminal we have to identify like this. Is the figure clear? Anyone?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we'll try to analyze the transistor one by one. Let us take the PNP transistor first, because that is the transistor 1. Okay, so one common expression for transistor is what? Like for PNP transistor, let us say that here the current is, suppose this is the anode current, IK. Okay, here the current is the cathode current. Okay, but as far as the PNP transistor is concerned, here the anode current is basically the emitter current of transistor 1. Am I right? কি বুঝতে পারছো? অ্যানোড কারেন্টটাই তো পিএনপি ট্রানজিস্টরের এমিটার কারেন্ট। নাও দ্যাট ইজ ইকুয়ালস টু হোয়াট? বলো। That is equals to, if we apply a KCL here, taking the transistor as a node, what we can have? Let me know.
ICT1 plus IBT1.
IB. Yes.
I B T1 plus IC T1. So base current plus collector current. Okay. So from that, another thing we can write, that is what is the collector current. Collector current and emitter current, there is a proportion. What is that? Like IE and IC has some proportion. And what is that? IE, or you can say the IC by IE, what is that? What is this ratio called? Quickly. এই রেশিওটাকে কি বলে? You don't know.
alpha.
So that is the transformer alpha, transistor alpha gain. Okay, and beta gain is what? IC by IB.
IC by IB.
So IC by IE is the transformer, a transistor alpha. So transistor alpha, if we write this in terms of the transistor alpha gain, what it would be? This IBP1 plus alpha IET1, correct? Understood? So if we take this this way, so it will be 1 minus alpha, sorry, I have to write alpha 1 because it is for transistor 1, IET1 equals to IBT1, correct? But one thing here we haven't considered, that is the reverse saturation current that may flow from base to collector. Okay, from base to collector, one reverse saturation current can flow, and that we have to consider here. So that is the direction of the flow of the reverse saturation current, which is called the ICBO. So ICBO. So this is due to the thermally generated carrier that depends on the temperature. Okay, so if we consider that, then what will be the current actually flowing here? Actually, what will be the current flowing here, and what will be the current flowing actually here? Let me know. Bolo. So in actually the current is IBT1 or 1 minus alpha 1, or we can write it 1 minus alpha 1 IA also, because we have already told that this is equals to IA. So actually the base current should be 1 minus alpha IA, but we have to subtract this because this current is leaking from this base to the collector of T1. So we have to write here, just a minute. Okay, so 1 minus alpha 1 IA minus ICBO1, isn't it? And here the current will be additive. This the reverse saturation current will be additive with the collector current. Now what is the collector current? Collector current is basically the alpha 1 IA plus this current. Have you understood? Have you understood this point? Let me know.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now come to the transistor 2. Sorry, transistor. Okay, transistor 2. For transistor 2, just a minute. My whiteboard is not working properly, so I am working on this MS Paint only. Okay, so here the collector current is what? Here the collector current is flowing through this. Okay, so this is the collector current IC2. Okay, so what is the value of this collector current? How to find out that? Same, by using the similar principle, because ICT2 you know is alpha, because here we have the gain alpha 2 times what? Bolo? Anyone?
Alpha 2 into the I cathode.
IK.
Okay, before IK I can write IET2 na,
Yes, sir.
because emitter and collector always this alpha gain is there. Just for the previous transistor I told na. Why
Yes,
you
sir.
were
Plus
silent?
ICDO2.
Okay, anyway, but here also you have to consider the reverse saturation current. Again, here the reverse saturation current direction is this. Okay, ICBO2. Isn't it? Now, so what is the actual current then flowing through this collector? Is this plus reverse saturation current ICBO2. Now this IET2 is basically what? That is the IK. That is the current, cathode, this cathode current of the overall device, plus ICBO2. Okay,
এখানে আইজির কোনো কন্ট্রিবিউশন হবে না?
হ্যাঁ বলো।
আইজির কোনো
না না,
কারেন্ট ফ্লো
এটা
করবে?
তো কালেক্টর পার্টে, এইখানে আমি দেখছি। আই এম লুকিং এট হিয়ার।
ওকে স্যার, ওকে স্যার।
ওর কন্ট্রিবিউশনটা হবে এইখানে, এখানে যদি আমি সেখানে ওখানে যদি আমি দেখি তাহলে এখানে তিনটে কারেন্ট আসবে। I will get 3 currents over there. Okay, so what are the 3 currents there? Bolo? What are the 3 currents? One current is I have already written here. This current will come over there from right to left. IG will be coming there, and one current is outgoing. And what is that current? 2 currents at this node. If I apply KCL, then we'll get 3 currents. 2 currents are incoming and 1 current is outgoing. So incoming currents are very much clear from this figure. Incoming currents are
IBD2.
IG plus alpha 1 IA plus ICBO2, sorry, BO1, equals to what is the outgoing current there?
IBT2.
IB,
T2.
bolo? IBT2. So what is IBT2? You are saying IBT2, correct?
IK minus ICT2.
IK, বলো IK না লিখে আমি ওই এমিটার টার্মে লিখি।
মাইনাস ICT2, মানে এইটাই, বা 1 minus alpha 2 into IK.
IET2 plus ICT2, তাই তো?
So মাইনাস হবে,
হ্যাঁ মাইনাস, কোনটা মাইনাস হবে বলো?
ICT2.
Now this IET2 minus alpha 2 IET2. So that means 1 minus alpha 2 IET2, or we can write 1 minus alpha 2 IK. Correct? So this current will be flowing in this point, at this point, outgoing current. So we can write it there. But one more thing we have to consider, that reverse saturation current is flowing there. Okay. And that is, as per the direction of the
এখানে
current, it will be negative. হ্যাঁ বলো কি বলছো?
না স্যার এখানে অ্যাকচুয়ালি মানে প্রথমে ইগনোর করা হয়েছিল ওই আইসি বিও মানে বিও 2টা।
হ্যাঁ প্রথমে নেগলেক্ট করেছি, কোথায় মানে
reverse
প্রথমে আমরা নিইনি, কিন্তু পরে ওটা ফাইনালি ওটা অ্যাড করতে হবে। Though it will be very small amount, but in this case it will be significant. The contribution of this reverse saturation currents are significant. Okay, so this is the equation number 1. Okay, so here we are applying KCL at the rate G. এই G পয়েন্টে আমরা KCL টা অ্যাপ্লাই করেছি। And one more KCL will get if we apply the KCL over here. Suppose this is point is P. Okay, so if we apply KCL at P, then what will I get? KCL at P. বলো, ওখানে যদি KCL অ্যাপ্লাই করি P পয়েন্টে, তাহলে কি হবে? So one current is coming from the transistor 1. What is that? 1 minus alpha 1 IA minus ICBO1. 1 minus alpha 1 IA minus ICBO1 equals to what? Equals to which current?
Sir, alpha 2 IK plus ICBO2.
Alpha 2 IK. Why? Because it is nothing but ICT2, isn't it? Correct. So
Yes,
this
sir.
current I will write here. Alpha 2 IK plus ICBO. So this is the KCL number 2. So 2 KCL equation we have to write. So that is the main thing. So we have to understand the flow of the current at different branches, and then we have to finally we have to write 2 KCL equations. KCL at the gate terminal and KCL at some intermediate point between the collector of transistor 2 and base of transistor 1. So that is the P at the point P. So these two are the KCL equation you have to write first. Okay. Then what we have to do, we have to solve for the anode current IA. So let us try to solve for anode current IA. And we can eliminate IK. So let me know what we are getting. Quickly do that. Are you doing?
Yes.
What we'll get? We'll get some ratio. Quickly solve it and let me know. You have to eliminate IK for solving IA. Two equations, two unknowns, IA and IK. You have to first eliminate IK and you have to solve for IA. So that is the problem. let me know what you are getting. Anyone? Quickly tell me. কি হয়নি কারো? আর
একটা বড় আছে
যাই আসুক সেটা বলো।
Sir, alpha 2 by 1 minus alpha 1 minus alpha 2 Ig plus J ICBO1 plus ICBO2 by 1 minus alpha 2 minus alpha.
In the numerator, what should I write?
Alpha 2
Alpha 2
by 1 minus alpha 1 minus alpha 2.
by 1 minus alpha 1,
Alpha 1 minus alpha 2
okay,
into Ig.
into Ig,
হ্যাঁ
like this.
পুরোটা হ্যাঁ
তারপর
প্লাস
plus
ICBO1 plus ICBO2
okay, and in
and
the
divided
denominator
1 minus alpha 1 minus alpha 2.
1 minus
Alpha 1 minus alpha 2.
is it
স্যার
okay?
এরকম আসছে না
স্যার এরম আসেনি
Sir, alpha 2 Ig plus ICBO1 plus ICBO2 divided by this denominator.
হ্যাঁ স্যার এরম এসছে
মানে এই টার্মটা ভুল এসছে বলছো শুধু?
হ্যাঁ স্যার,
Yes, sir.
ওটা শুধু আলফা টু আইজি হবে
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ সেটাই
alpha 2 Ig divided
হ্যাঁ
by
স্যার
this.
এখন হ্যাঁ স্যার
Is it okay? What you have obtained?
yes sir.
ইয়েস স্যার নাও ইটস ওকে
Now here one thing you have to understand, or you can see from this equation, that if you have the value of two alphas nearly equals to 1, what will happen? The IA will tend to infinity, isn't it? So mathematically we can see from this expression, we can observe from this expression, isn't it? Okay, now think about the practical case. Suppose we have a forward bias, so anode is positive, cathode is negative, but device is turned off. Okay, so we have anode is positive, cathode is negative, but still So this can be termed as a forward bias of the overall device. Am I right? এটাই তো? But we don't have any gate current. Okay, so once we have a gate current, what does it mean? How will it impact on the two transistors that you just think? If you have a positive gate current, so if you have a finite gate current, so what will happen? First thing, what you will get? First thing, one by one. First, what will happen if the gate current is non-zero? If you have a finite gate current, bolo. Anyone?
Sir, anode current will be higher.
You know?
Sir, from the expression,
না এক্সপ্রেশন আমি বলছি ডিভাইসটা বোঝার চেষ্টা করো। এখানে ট্রানজিস্টর গুলোর উপর কিভাবে ইম্প্যাক্ট করবে যদি বেস কারেন্ট এই কি বলে মানে আইজি কারেন্টটা ফ্লো করা শুরু করে। Your transistor 2 will be turned on, না?
yes sir, base current.
হ্যাঁ, তাহলে বেস কারেন্টটা ফ্লো করা মানেই হচ্ছে ট্রানজিস্টর 2 মানে আমি যদি ধরে নিই ট্রানজিস্টর 1 is in off condition, if the gate current is flowing, that means it needs some path and that path will be through the transistor 2 only. So that means the transistor 2 will be turned on. Okay.
Yes sir.
If the transistor 2 is turned on, that means what? There will be collector current of transistor 2. That means IC2 will
Yes
be
sir.
finite. So if IC2 is
Yes,
finite, then only way that IC2 will be finite, that is the gate, the base current of the transistor 2
Base
is
current.
because the base current of transistor 2 is nothing but the collector current of transistor. Sorry, base current of transistor 1 is nothing but collector current of transistor 2. So this in this way. Okay. First, when the gate current is flowing, that means transistor 2 is turned on. Once the transistor 2 is turned on, the collector current of the transistor 2 is flowing. That is nothing but the base current of transistor 1. So that means at the same time, after some time, the transistor 1 also will be turned on. Okay. Now, what is the impact of transistor on the alpha value of the transistors? Do you have any idea?
Sir, alpha increases with the increase of emitter current.
That means transistor on হওয়া মানে হচ্ছে যে আগে তো suppose this is the alpha, isn't it? IC by IE alpha. So if base current is 0, there is no collector current. Okay, so that means alpha is almost 0. But once the device is turned on, that alpha will increase. So here both the alpha 1 and alpha 2 will increase. Am I right? Okay, now when their summation will reach to 1, what will happen? The IA will increase or IA will be almost very high or almost infinite. Okay, now if we withdraw the gate current, then also the device will be turned on condition. Because the two transistors will be aiding each other. Am I right?
Yes sir, yes sir.
বুঝতে পেরেছো? মানে কিছুক্ষণ পরে যদি তুমি এটাকে 0 করে দাও, এই টার্মটাকে যদি 0 করে দাও, মানে গেট কারেন্টটাকে যদি তুমি উইথড্র করে নাও, হ্যাঁ, তাহলেও as the denominator of this expression is quite low, because alpha 1 alpha 2 is almost unity, as this denominator is quite low, whatever the value of the reverse saturation current, the IA value will be quite high. That means the device will be in the turned on condition. Am I right? So here the significance of this reverse saturation current. So whatever the small value it is, But as the denominator is very low, okay, the anode current will be sufficient to make the device turned on. So this is called the regeneration action. Okay, so that means the gate current is required only to turn on the device. Okay, and you need a sufficient gate current to turn on the device. Okay, and you have to allow the gate current before it reaches a certain value, because before this alpha 1 plus alpha 2 reaches very near to unity. Am I right? মানে আমাকে ততক্ষণ ধরে গেট কারেন্ট অ্যালাউ করতে হবে যতক্ষণ না আলফা 1 প্লাস আলফা 2 টা একের কাছাকাছি পৌঁছে, isn't it? So I have to allow the gate current until the value of alpha 1 plus alpha 2 reaches very close to unity. Then the regeneration will start, not before that. So therefore we define a term which is called the holding current. So we have to wait for the holding current. Okay, then we can withdraw your this gate.
Sir, holding current na latching current?
No, I'm just telling you, this is the holding current only as far as the device is concerned. The device perspective, latching current bole kichu hoy na. Now latching current is a current a little bit higher than the holding current. So if this is the holding current, latching current is this. Now what is the latching current? Latching current is after giving some tolerance of holding current. Okay, so practically we generally prefer to use a little higher current than the holding current to ensure the confirmed turn on. So that is termed as a latching current. বুঝতে পেরেছো? ডিভাইস পার্সপেক্টিভে
Yes,
যদি
sir.
আমি বলি এক্সাক্ট পয়েন্ট যার নিচে ডিভাইসটা টার্ন অফ হয়ে যাবে, হ্যাঁ, যে অ্যানোড কারেন্টের নিচে বা যে ডিভাইস কারেন্টের নিচে ডিভাইসটা টার্ন অফ হয়ে যাবে, দ্যাট ইজ কল্ড দা, আর যার উপরে গেলে টার্ন অন হবে। আমি যদি একটাই পয়েন্ট ভাবি যে এই কারেন্টের, এই ডিভাইস কারেন্টের নিচে ডিভাইসটা টার্ন অন, এই ডিভাইস কারেন্টের উপরে ডিভাইসটা টার্ন অফ, সেটা কিন্তু হোল্ডিং কারেন্ট। ওকে, সুতরাং ওইটা একটা পয়েন্ট বলে অনেক সময় যদি মিসক্যালকুলেশন হয়, it may create some problem. So then what we do, we to make ourselves safe, we take some tolerance and we term that as a latching current. Got my point? So that is the latching current. But as far as the device is concerned, the current is called the holding current. Is it okay? Any question? Have you understood the regenerative action or the working principle of, and what is the importance of the gate current? Okay, so generally therefore we apply the gate current in form of pulse. So that is sufficient because you have seen, so the pulse width will be sufficient. Why? Because you have to wait until the alpha 1 alpha 2 reaches the unity, or the device current reaches the latching current, or at least the holding current, you can say. Understood this point? কি বুঝতে পেরেছো সবাই? না বুঝতে পারলে বলো। It's very important thing as far as the thyristor is concerned. So let me save it. See. Okay. Start a new page. Just a minute. So one more white page I have to take here. The next point that I will discuss is the parameters, the important parameters of thyristors, which generally we consider when selecting a thyristor for a particular application. Okay, so you can write down. Can you see the board now? বোর্ডটা দেখতে পাচ্ছেন
Yes,
সবাই?
sir.
Okay, so important parameters of AC. So the parameters are like this. First, the average current, or you can say average forward current. Okay, next one is the reverse blocking capability. So this is generally the voltage. In terms of voltage, we mentioned that. Number 3 is on-state voltage drop. Number 4 is off-state current. So this is the leakage current. So another thing I have already mentioned, that is the DVDT rating. Okay, so DVDT rating is mentioned both for turned on and turn off. Okay. And number 6 is the normal I square R rating. And the last one is the okay, so off time. Okay, so these are the few parameters that is generally we consider when selecting the device. Okay, now I will discuss a simple circuit that is generally used for the gate triggering.
Sir, is I by dt rating?
Eh?
Sir, is there no di by dt rating?
Yes, di by dt rating is also there. We can mention that also. Actually, I have mentioned the salient. Okay, so some important rating, not the all, because other ratings are also mentioned in the data sheet. So I have selected a few. হ্যাঁ বলো কি বলছো? DIDT rating also.
ফার্স্ট পয়েন্ট রিপিট করবেন?
First point. So average forward current. কোন পয়েন্টটা বলো জানতে চাইছো?
স্যার ফার্স্ট পয়েন্ট একবার রিপিট করবেন?
বুঝলাম না, ফার্স্ট বলতে কোনটা?
ইম্পর্টেন্ট প্যারামিটারস অফ এসসিআর এর ফার্স্ট পয়েন্টটা।
হ্যাঁ, এভারেজ ফরওয়ার্ড কারেন্ট। ক্যান ইউ সি দ্য বোর্ড?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, তখন একটু হ্যাং করে যাচ্ছে। ঠিক আছে স্যার, এখন
নাও ইট ইজ ওকে। এভারেজ কারেন্ট, এভারেজ কারেন্ট in the forward condition. Okay. Okay. Now, before going into the gating circuit, so we should know what are the requirement for the gating circuits. Who is this? Shamim Hawk. Okay, so requirement of gate triggering for SCR. So one thing I have already mentioned, what is that? Follow gate triggering একটা point আমি already mentioned করেছি. What is that?
Sir, gate should not be a mere impulse, or it should have a finite width. Gate pulse.
Okay. And who will decide the width of the gate pulse? That also I have mentioned. How the width of the gate pulse will be decided.
Sir, the value of we have to decide the gate pulse such that the alpha 1 plus alpha 2 becomes nearly unity, and the anode current becomes greater than the holding.
Correct. That means the duration of the gate pulse should be sufficient so that the anode current or the device current becomes equal to or more than the latching current. Okay. So that means we should not withdraw the IG before that. So the IG should present until the device current or the anode current more than the latching current. So that is the criteria 1 or the main criteria for any gate triggering circuit. Okay. Understood. Now, what is the second point? Any more, any other thing have you observed? Okay. Now you see that
Sir,
is not,
can it be a point that, sir,
Bolo?
can we tell that the gate current should not be continuously applied to reduce the power loss?
If anyway, if the small gate pulse is enough, okay, why should we go for the more wider gate pulse? Now, what is your point? I couldn't understand. মানে তুমি কি বলতে চাইছো মানে অনেক
স্যার বলতে চাচ্ছি যে মানে এখানে কন্টিনিউয়াস গেট ট্রিগারিং এর দরকার নেই, মানে অ্যাকচুয়ালি তাহলে পাওয়ার লসটা বেশি হবে। মানে
এখানে দরকার নেই। হ্যাঁ, সেই জন্য মানে প্রথম ক্লজটা বললেই তো সেটা মানে একই হয়ে যায় আর কি।
হ্যাঁ স্যার,
তাই না? আচ্ছা।
হ্যাঁ।
The second point is about the circuit which is actually producing the gate pulse. Okay, so generally we call that circuit is the control circuit. So in the very first class I mentioned that for all device like the control devices like the power BJT, power MOSFET, thyristor, GTO, IGBT, for all these devices which are called the control device, we need a separate control circuit, isn't it? Now control circuit will basically generate the signal for it. Okay, so signal for or control circuit will generate the gate pulse for it. So what type of control circuit generally we use? Suppose a microcontroller. A very simple example of a control circuit. By using some microcontroller, you are making that gate pulse. But when you will connect the microcontroller directly to the power device, what will happen in some cases, if there is a back power flow, then the microcontroller will be damaged, because the microcontrollers or like that device, that type of control devices are generally designed for a very low current, low power. Okay, so therefore we have to ensure the protection of the control circuit. So for that, what we generally prefer, that the control circuit must be isolated from the power circuit. Power circuit means the circuit which you are considering here. Got my point? Understood what is the control circuit? Which is actually generating the gate pulse. From the power circuit. If you don't understand what is control circuit or what is power circuit, you just go back to the first class. There I have discussed this. Okay. So that is the second point. So to implement that, what we do, we generally use a transformer, because you know that transformer generally a very good device which gives us isolation. We can also use other kind of device like optocoupler. Do you know what is optocoupler? But generally we prefer for this type of application, we prefer transformer. For what type of transformer generally we use? Because here the signal is not AC kind of thing. Because you know that transformer is designed generally for AC, alternative waveform. But here the thing is, a pulse will come. Maximum 1 or 2 pulse may come. Okay, and you have to you have to give the isolation. So therefore, this type of transformer, which is designed to take the pulse as an input, is called the pulse transformer. Okay, so pulse transformers are used for this type of applications. Correct? বুঝতে পেরেছো? Okay, and the third point is, instead of using a single pulse, I've already mentioned earlier, instead of using a single pulse, if we use a repeated pulse having high frequency, okay, so that is better as far as the power consumption is concerned. Power consumption in the gate triggering circuit is concerned, or control circuit is concerned. Okay, so that may be the last point or the fourth point. That is, instead of a single pulse, we can use a high frequency pattern of pulse. Okay. Okay, so these are the major requirements for the gate triggering circuit. So when we design a gate triggering circuit, we have to consider these things. Okay. So let me close this board because no space is there. Just a minute. Okay, so one more whiteboard you can see. Can you see one more whiteboard?
Yes.
So I will discuss a sample gate triggering circuit. Joyoth, how many class I can get after this? Is this the last class?
Sir, if you want, you can take.
If I want, but you don't want. Isn't
Yes,
it?
মানে মানে আপনি কালকে নিতে পারেন, অসুবিধা নেই।
মানে তোমাদের মানে সেমিস্টারের কি কি খবর?
স্যার সেমিস্টার 6 তারিখ থেকে হবে, তার আগে যদি
তার
ল্যাব
আগে
ক্লাস আছে যদি হয় তাহলে
তার আগে তোমরা ক্লাস করবে?
কালকে হতে পারে এমনি,
কালকে
মানে যদি
দেখছি, কালকে আমার একটা মানে ইভিনিং এর একটা ক্লাস থাকে, দেখছি তো মানে করা যায়। ওকে, so this is the pulse transformer. The diode is feeding to the gate cathode junction. We have a diode here as well. So this we can term as D1 and this is D2. And this will be connected to the collector of another transistor, NPN transistor P1. So here I will apply a pulse train like this. This type of pulse train will apply here, and ultimately it will trigger actual your thyristor. Okay, so your thyristor is the gate like this. Like, okay, so this is a sample triggering circuit for thyristor. So this operation is very simple. If we apply some pulse train at this terminal, let us take some PQ terminal. Okay, so suppose it is positive for the positive going pin. Now then the T1 will be turned on. Okay, so if the T1 is turned on, okay, so one more thing I have to draw here, that is the bias voltage. Suppose some VD is over there. So if the base circuit is on, then the device, the T1 will be turned on. If the device is turned on, then what will happen? Current will flow in this path, and similarly it will induce a voltage in the secondary of this pulse transformer. Okay, if the secondary is having some induced voltage, then that voltage will be acting across the gate cathode of the actual SCR under control. Understood? এই বুঝতে পেরেছো সবাই? The operation of this particular circuit. Now, the thing is where the diodes, why the diodes are used. First, one by one. The diode 1 is used basically as a what? বলো? Diode 1 টাকে আমরা কি কাজে ইউজ করছি?
It's a freewheeling purpose.
Basically a freewheeling diode. It's very simple application because you have a coil. Coil is very the primary coil or any coil is basically inductive in nature. Now, once there is a current flow, okay, in that your this D1 will be turned off or reverse bias, and the polarity is like this because the current flow in this there the inductor will be acting as a load. Okay, but once we have a negative pulse across the PQ, okay, then what will happen? The T1 will be turned off, but the current in that primary coil of the pulse transformer cannot be instantly be zero because it has a stored energy half Li², isn't it? So you need some path to dissipate that energy. So what will be that path? That path will be this diode, because then the polarity will be reversed, as you know, and then you can expect some discharging current of the inductor in this path. So in that phase, the D1 will be forward biased. Okay. Similarly, what is the application of D2? What is the application of D2? Why we are using this D2 in the secondary of the pulse transformer? So D2 will ensure there is the reverse current in the secondary coil. No reverse current in the secondary coil, isn't it? Okay, so these are the application of these two transistors. But generally, what we do, actually, we have to ensure that all the inductor energy is discharged before commencing the next cycle. Okay, so therefore, what we prefer to use a capacitor in series with this diode D1. Why? Can you tell me? আমরা শুধু ডায়োড না দিয়ে তার সাথে একটা ক্যাপাসিটর দেওয়াটাকে প্রেফার করি। Why?
Because that will be an LC circuit, and the transfer of energy will be faster from L to C than from L to R.
Anyway, some resistance will be there in the circuit, that is the resistance of the coil itself, isn't it? Resistance is not zero. But when we are thinking of some additional capacitance, then another thing we have to ensure, what is that? Okay, so you are saying that if we have a capacitor, then the discharge will be faster. We can ensure that the total energy in the inductor stored in the inductor is discharged before the next cycle. Okay, but there is a possibility of oscillation, LC oscillation. For that, better to use another resistance, external resistance, which will damp the oscillation faster, isn't it? Because always the resistance provides the middle term of the, or the damping term of the uh, second order polynomial, isn't it? So therefore we also have to connect a resistance with the capacitance. So this C and R generally we keep for the faster discharge of the inductor. Okay, understood. Anyway, any questions do you have so far? No? Okay. Now one more circuit we use in this dotted phase. So I have drawn all these as a dotted. So in this dotted phase, one more circuit we use, and that is called the gate protection circuit. So I will draw it, and briefly I will try to discuss that. Okay. So suppose here we have the secondary of the pulse transformer, and we have these two. Now from the in the dotted line, what we have some resistance, a diode. Okay. Okay, some diode, some another resistance, one Zener diode, one more capacitance. So this is called the gate. Let me write it. Gate protection circuit. This is your thyristor. This is the gate terminal, and this is the cathode. The anode. Okay. Okay. Now I'm just briefly explaining this because we don't have much time today. So this resistance R, okay, this is basically acting as a because in case of oscillation, in the oscillation in the secondary part, so it tries to damp out the oscillation. Okay, because the oscillation may occur for different switching frequency. For high switching frequency, the oscillation may occur. So this resistance R is basically try to damp out those oscillations. Okay, and the next one is the diode D. What is the function of diode D? Basically, the bypass uh, the 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 positive voltage, or your if there is some negative voltage comes, if the if there is some backflow, that I've already mentioned in the earlier circuit. So the same diode is we have drawn here. Okay, so this diode already we have drawn in the previous circuit. So that is D2 is basically here also you can write like this. The same D2 is we have drawn here. Okay, and what is RG? RG is basically if there is some thermally generated carrier, uh, then it acts as a bypass path for them. Okay, so that is the function of Rg. Okay, so similar operation also we have for the this Zener diode. So that is also a kind of bypass path for the that reverse power. Okay, now Cg that is the high frequency bypassing capacitor. Okay, so Cg I have not named it Cg. Okay, so Cg is called the high frequency bypassing capacitor. Okay, so all this actually we have kept in the circuit to protect the gate cathode junction as well as to protect the device to be turned on from the spurious signal. Okay, because you know device can be turned on by some other reason as well. Okay, so all these things are kept in the circuit to uh, uh, resist the device to be turned on with some spurious signal. So these are the gate protection circuit. Okay, so anything else? Okay, so next day I will start the MOSFET because this is the end of this. There's one more thing I think I have not discussed, that is the reverse recovery phenomena of this here. So today we don't have time, but the thing is reverse recovery phenomena is similar to that we have studied for this diode. Okay, so it has also the similar reverse recovery phenomena, and for that you need a Snava circuit, as we have mentioned in case of diode. So can you remember what is Snava circuit and what are the components of Snava circuit which is used uh, for this protection of this, or to make this thing faster, switching faster? What are the components? Snava circuit not only used to
Resistance and capacitor.
Capacitor.
main is the capacitor, but resistance also will be required for what? Again the same thing.
Damping the oscillation.
The same thing. Again, the resistance is used for the damping because the circuit in which your device is connected is basically inductive in nature. In most of the cases, the circuit in which it is connected is inductive in nature. Now, if we apply some, okay, so suppose this is your device, and if we apply some capacitance over here, okay, some capacitance if we apply here, then there is a possibility of LC oscillation. To damp this out, we generally use another resistance, which is acting as a damping resistance. Okay, so this is called the Snaba circuit. There is a separate design is required for the Snaba circuit depending on the particular device. Okay, the Snaba circuit is designed based on the DIDP and DVDT rating of the device. Okay, so I'm not going into the details of that. Another thing is that uh, the thyristor, the problem is you can turn on the device, but you cannot turn off the device because the device is turned off when the device current uh, uh, is withdrawn. That means device current is it becomes less than its holding current value, isn't it? মানে অ্যানোড কারেন্টটা যখন হোল্ডিং কারেন্টের চেয়ে কম হয়ে যাবে then it will be off. So automatically. So this is called the natural commutation of the device. Okay. So you cannot turn on off the device. Only the thing you can do, that is you can turn on the device at some time. Am I right? Okay.
Yes.
Now
Yes.
what we do for that, we use to, if we want to forcefully, if we want to turn off, then we need a separate circuit, and that is called the force commutation circuit. That process is called the forced commutation. Now original একটা ক্লাসে আছি, পরে কল ব্যাক, আমি একটু পরে। Okay, so that is the problem for thyristor. Okay, so if I don't have time, then I can discuss the one of the force commutation circuit here. Now the disadvantage of this disadvantage of SCR we can overcome by using a different sort of device, that is called the gate turn off device, or GTO. So this is a different device. This is not SCR. This is a special type of SCR which can be turned off. Okay, so by some negative signal at the gate, and that is called the GTO. And the symbol for this GTO is little different from this, like this. So the anode and the cap. So this is one symbol. Another symbol is like this. Just a minute, I'm drawing here because I don't have space there. Okay. So this is the gate terminal. This is the anode terminal. Both the symbols are used. So this is one, this is two. So these two symbols are used for GTO. Okay. So anyway, we have to stop the class here.